Hello, welcome back. My name is Chris Miller, and in today's tutorial, we're going to cover WP Nav. Now, what WP Nav is a function that WordPress provides to us to output the navigation menu in our theme. Now, you can do this in many different places within your theme. You can do it in header.php, you can do it in footer.php, or you can do it in a sidebar or in a sub-nav, or in many other different places. Now, what you have to do, though, is that you have to register support in your theme in order to get the menu system to show up in the backend. So let's dive in and take a look now. All right, we're going to swing over here, and we're going to see under Appearances, we should see a menu option here, but we do not. Okay, we can even click through the appearance there, and we do not see menu. All right, so let's go ahead and search for WP Nav theme support, and we're going to hit this top link here, and we're going to scroll down, and here is a demonstration of how to set up theme support or register the nav for your theme. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to paste it right in here. And by the way, I'm not reviewing any of the documentation with you right now, but I do highly encourage you reading through this page here. Lots of great information here on the page. So we're going to zoom in again. And what we're going to do, well, let me explain this for a second before we start changing some stuff. So we're defining a function up top called register my menu. You can call that anything that you would like. But whatever you change that to, if you do decide to change that, make sure you update your function here as well, okay? Because this is our function that we're defining, and this is our callback function, or the same function that we're defining above, right? So just make sure that those two match. Now, our add action is us letting WordPress know that we want to use an action hook, okay? And again, we've covered actions in this type of functionality in a previous video. And then the type of action hook that we want to use is init. And what that means is that when WordPress initializes, that's what init stands for, it's going to use this function that we're defining here, register my menu. Okay, now inside of our function, we're calling another function. And this particular function is being provided to us by WordPress called register nav menu. Now, the first argument here is a slug, and then the second is going to be the name of the menu item. Okay, so we're going to leave it header-menu and then header menu as the title there. So we're going to, or the label rather. So we're going to come back here to WordPress. We're going to refresh, and then we can see that menus has now appeared under Appearances. So let's click Menus. And now we can see that we have this menu editor that we can now begin adding pages or custom links to. So we're going to leave this as menu 1 for now, and we're going to leave home, demo, and demo page all there. We're going to leave those alone. What we want to do now is we want to flip back over to the front end of our site, and we want to begin seeing how can we output this menu system. And then here in a bit, we're going to edit the menu to see it reflect on the front end. All right. I do believe I need to create the menu first, though. So I just went and hit create menu down below. That did say create menu, not save menu, but after you click it, it'll then say save menu. So sorry, that is something that, that you do have to do there. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our header.php. And this is where we're going to include the function that outputs the menu. Okay, so let's fly over to pages. Let's go to our demo page here. And we're going to inspect our DOM. And yep, there's our comment here that we just wrote out. All right. So now let's jump back into Google search, and let's just try to search for WP Nav. Okay, again, that top article there. And let's see, WP nav menu, show navigation menu. So we do want to do that. All right, and then so it tells us that it displays a navigation menu. So here's our function. It's going to be an array with many different key value options here. So it's got a ton of different parameters here. All right, so let's go ahead and copy this, and we're going to paste this right here underneath our comment. And let's just call the function and not pass any arguments and see what it does. It might not do anything, but it's worth a try. Well, and before I do that, I almost forgot. Let's go ahead and throw it in our PHP there. Let's go back to the front and hit refresh. And boom, it actually did something. I was doubtful that it was going to do anything without passing any arguments, but it must have some defaults there that knows to look at if there's a singular menu defined, or maybe it might increment up to the nearest menu identifier that is available. So, but in fact, we have home, demo, and demo page. And we can see here that, I'm going to zoom in here for you. We can see here that it's in a div with a class menu dash one dash container. Now we're going to take a look at the parameters here in a minute, but you're going to see that you can change everything about this. So you're not limited to just what you're getting. You can modify everything that's getting output here. We're going to expand that. We have a UL with an ID of menu dash one with a class of menu. All this is being taken care of for you by WordPress, but again, you can change it. And then we have our LIs, all right, with the identifier for each menu item. And then we have our anchor, and then we have the URL that it's going to take you to for that page. So let's go ahead and flip back to the back end here, go under appearance menus, and let's change the order. Let's move home in the middle, and let's move demo page to the top, and hit save menu. And let's go back to the front end, and I'm going to zoom in before I hit the refresh. And sure enough, we have home in the middle and demo on the top, or demo page on the top. All right, so isn't that cool? That's pretty awesome. I was super stoked when I first learned about this. So now let's take a look at the parameters. So I'm going to close out of that there, zoom in for us. So we can pass an array with any one of these keys here with the expected value for each key. So not going to go through all of them. There's a bunch of them, but if we know the ID of a particular menu that we want to grab, we can use that. CSS class to use for the UL element. So if we want to change the class on the UL, we can do that. Same goes for the menu ID. The container, so whether to wrap the UL and what to wrap it with. So great documentation here. They're going to tell you exactly what each one of these will do for us. But let's grab one of these. Zoom out. Let's go ahead and grab the menu ID. Okay. And we are going to drop down a few lines, tab that over. And let's start with an array. And we're going to drop down. I'm going to call this args. You can call it anything you want. I like to keep it with args. And let's say hello world. Hello world is going to be our menu ID. So let's go ahead and grab our argument that we just defined here and pass that into WP nav. Make sure we save our page. Come back over here to the front, hit refresh. Now, let's bring our inspect out again, and let's come here, and sure enough, look at our UL. We're going to zoom in here and see that we have an ID of hello world on our UL. Pretty cool, right? This is so powerful. You can define many different menus, both in your footer or in your header or in a sidebar. You can have a sub nav if you want. Super cool. Super powerful. Before we close this out, I'm going to come back over here and take a look at the left-hand side, which we didn't explore earlier. We have pages, post, custom links, categories. You can come here to, if we click view all, and if you have 100 pages, you would be able to see all 100 pages in this list. You can simply click and say add to menu, and there you go. It just added another one. You can click and drag and nest. You can do nesting if you want to have sub items underneath other items. Then you've got posts. So we've talked about that in previous videos, blog posts. Then you got custom links. So you can type in any arbitrary link that you want and the link text that you want it to read as. And then categories, which we have not covered yet, which is part of a taxonomy system that WordPress provides. But you can, if you use categories, click and add those to the menu just like you would a post or a page. So, all right, if you found value in this video, please consider hitting the subscribe button below. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, drop those in the comment section below. If you're on Twitter, come find me, Miller T. Chris, and come check out some of my other videos. Probably sitting here or here.